northeastward, moving over North Florida and then along the southeastern United States. Let's look at timing and intensity. So here we are, just west of Tampa, Tuesday night, max winds 120 miles per hour. This would unfortunately make it a Category 3 hurricane on the Saffir-Simpson scale. Then moving over North Florida as still a hurricane with 90 mile per hour peak winds. Now let's look at the existing hurricane watches, warnings, tropical storm watches and warnings. I want to focus first on this red area. This red area here, turn the cities on. This is a hurricane warning. This is a hurricane warning, not a watch. And what does a warning mean? That means that hurricane conditions are expected within this area within the next 36 hours. All indications are that would be Tuesday, late Tuesday into Wednesday. So if you're in this hurricane warning area, that includes Tampa, all the way around here, the Big Bend area, not Tallahassee, you're just on the edge, but you're in a hurricane watch. What does that mean if you're in a hurricane warning? That means you need to be making final preparation to protect your home and family from hurricane force winds. Specifically, what does that mean? Everything has to be charged up. All electronics need to be charged up. All of your gas tanks in your automobiles need to be topped off with fuel. You need to be ready for power outages. When these winds come through, they knock down trees, take out power outages, and these power outages can last several days. So think about what you need to sustain a power outage for several days. What would you need to be safe and comfortable for that duration of time? What about some of these other things in here? Fort Myers, a tropical storm warning. That means tropical storm conditions are expected within your area. Same over here. The Tallahassee area is under a tropical storm warning. Jacksonville, you're under a tropical storm watch. Working our way down the East Coast, including Orlando and Melbourne. That means that the conditions are possible in 48 hours. So these could be upgraded. These watches could be upgraded at a later time to warnings. So you have to stay tuned, revisit, check the forecast 2 to 3 times a day to get the latest. Zoom back out. Now let's look at the big picture, storm surge, and I'm going to zoom in. Storm surge warnings just south of Tampa, including Tampa Bay, all the way around the Big Bend to Apalachicola. Now, what does that mean? That means that life-threatening storm surge is expected in that area. And a lot of you listening today have been ordered to evacuate. You're under evacuation orders, and this is why. We evacuate based off storm surge. This is why. If you've been ordered to evacuate, it is imperative not only that you heed those evacuations, but you do it tonight and first thing in the morning, because conditions will start to deteriorate during the day tomorrow. Now, why are these areas under a storm surge warning? So let's look at the storm surge forecast that supports that warning. So we'll zoom in here. Tampa Bay, 4 to 7 feet. I stand 6 feet tall. That potentially could be to the top or over my head. You get a sense now why those evacuations are ordered. Come up here in the Florida Big Bend, up to 12 feet of storm surge possible, and Cedar Key is right dab in the middle of that forecast. So if you're listening to us from Cedar Key, you better be listening to any instructions from local authorities, because that island could be completely cut off from these high surges. Wrapping our way around here, 5 to 8 feet in the orange up here, and the flanks 2 to 4. It won't pop up, but 2 to 4 and 3 to 5 Indian Pass over here. Now, what's new on this advisory too? These values have been extended to the northeast and now cover portions of the southeastern United States coast. So Georgia coastline, South Carolina coastline, including Charleston, you could get 2 to 4 feet of storm surge. Let's look at the rainfall. Sticking with the water threat, we've been talking about this all week. We've been talking about the heavy rains that could spread with this storm, and you're seeing that now on the flood risk. This red area, anywhere in this red area here, you have the potential for flooding. So this is going to cover Savannah, Charleston, Myrtle Beach, Wilmington, Jacksonville. You can see this area here. So this is southeastern North Carolina, eastern or low country of South Carolina, southeastern Georgia, and northern portions of Florida, including Jacksonville, you have a high potential for flash flooding. So bottom line is, if you're in any of these areas that we've outlined for you, there's going to come a point where you're just going to want to stay put. Unfortunately, we lose a lot of people in these systems that are curious. They want to move around, or they wait to the last minute to make their preparations, and they scramble at the last minute as the storm is bearing down upon them. Make sure you're prepared. Get what you need now before the storm comes, and be prepared to stay put for a day or two as this system moves through your community. We'll be back tomorrow with more live updates, but you can always get the latest information on this system from hurricanes.gov.